What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood webcast / podcast because I don't know how you'll consume this content. My name is Jimmy, and as usual, I have my brother with me. Corey's in the building. What's up, Corey?
What's going on, Jim?
Hey, man, I can't complain. Ain't nobody listening, man. What does my man say? I'm fair and partly cloudy. You know what I mean?
Fair, partly cloudy.
fair and partly cloudy. But in this episode right here, we want to highlight a brother who is building a media company. His name is Theo Tarren McCleary, better known as T. So, we're going to call him T just to make him feel comfortable for the rest of this episode. We know we're not bill collectors out here, but we want to highlight what he has going on. His company is known as Headquarters Media. So T, man, before we get started and ask you specific questions about the company and what you're building out there, give us a little bit about your background in terms of schooling, where you come from, and things of that nature.
All right, welcome everybody. I'm Philly born and raised. I'm with the Dobbins Trade School at the time. It's no longer. I took up electronics. Then after that, I was going to go to college. I needed to take a year off. And then a guy from Lincoln Tech came and recruited me straight out of Dobbins, kind of talked me in. Actually, that guy, he changed my life because I don't know if I took that year off. I don't even know if I would have made it to school. But he came and talked to me. It was like, brother, you need to come Lincoln Tech. Don't take this year off. Just go to school. So I ended up going to Lincoln Tech. Just piggybacked off the electronics knowledge I got from Dobbins, and then took electronics there. And then after that, I just been grinding, just working.
Okay, all right. So for those who are not familiar with Lincoln Tech, that's a trade school, and you said the trade you took up at Lincoln Tech was electronics.
Yep.
Okay, and that's interesting because we always talk about the debate in our community in terms of the student loan debt crisis and college and all that. But that's a whole different avenue. Trade school is a whole different avenue. And I know there's a lot of people who advocate for more brothers and sisters actually looking at that as an alternative to spending, a bunch of money on college. Are you one of those people who advocate more of us looking to trade schools?
It depends on what your end game is. If you want to be a boss yourself, if you want to run your own company, then college might not be the way for you. Trade school is more so for that. But if you trying to get in corporate, regular day job, then definitely go to college. Like and where I landed at right now, before I started the media company, as a engineer, I tell anybody who want to get to where I'm going, go to college. You can't go the route that I went now. It was fine in the 90s when I was coming up. It was more acceptable. But now it's like, if you want to get in corporate, you got to get a degree somewhere in college. It's almost mandatory. Okay. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, save your money. Just go learn your skill from anywhere you can find it, and then just go forward. Don't get in all that debt you don't have to.
What's interesting is my background is in the real estate industry, so I meet people all the time who have big engineering firms or contracting companies, and the person who runs the whole company have went to a trade school, but they have a bunch of people that work for them with degrees, which is always interesting to me. Their employees be having 6 figures of debt, and they don't have any debt, and it's always interesting to me. Yeah, just wanted to see what you thought about that because you're someone who actually went through a trade school. You said that kind of saved your life, so that's good to hear. Let's talk a little bit about Headquarters Media, the company that you're building out. So I went on your website and everything. I see what you got going on. I see what you're building, and amazing website. I see you have a lot of different shows. So you have a studio and you also have shows.
Yes.
So what is your vision for the company? When you started to create Headquarters Media, what was your goal in terms of doing that?
Well, it started out, kind of before Headquarters Media, I kind of started out just doing weddings, I started out as a hobby doing recording video, and everyone was like, damn, T, you're pretty good at it. You should try and take it serious. So I did. And then I started out I did a couple weddings, photos. I started out doing photography and wedding. And then my now partner with Headquarters Media, we came up with the idea of just, trying to create our own content instead of just trying to, video record other people. That's kind of start a media sense in general. So we came up, we converted, we built our own set. We started out trying to rent it out just to get, just to network. And then as we started networking more, we found people that we was interested in working with. And we started creating a couple of shows. We got 4 different YouTube shows going right now. And for most part, we just trying to, showcase our production abilities and what we can bring to the table. And then hopefully, if we're lucky, maybe a network come pick us up and scoop us up and give us a budget and to go even further.
Okay, so I see that you have multiple shows that your media company produces.
Yes.
So you're basically here's what's interesting, right? So a lot of people who want to go into production would have went to school for something involving production,
Right.
intern for someone and tried to work their way up. You're
Right.
going a whole different route. You just went out and said, I'm going to create my content, show my skill set,
Yes.
and then build it from there. So I think that right there is a gem in itself. Instead of waiting, go out there and do it, right? And that's kind of the approach you're taking. You're taking the, and one of the things we tell people, regardless of what businesses that they're in, is to go do something, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the gem itself. So how did you pick the shows that you currently have? How
did they pick you?
Yeah, or did they pick how that come about?
One show we picked up. One of the shows, the guy's been doing the show for a year before he ran to us. He actually saw what we were doing. He reached out to us, and he had a falling out with his old production crew. Like if you go to his, it's the Dev Hall show. I can put it out there. If you go look at some of his earlier episodes before we produced, and then look at when we took up, you can clearly see. Like all I got to do is just go through his history, his timeline, and you'll see the jump in production, and you'll see exactly where we kicked in at. So he reached out to us, and we partnered up with him. And he's a good dude. But the other three shows we kind of created ourselves. One of the other shows, the guys was already doing a podcast. We kind of like did what they was doing. So we reached out to them and came up with the idea to start a show, and it was all about it. And so we partnered up with them. And then the other two shows, we just literally just got off the ground now. One of them was just basically kind of piggybacking off what Genius does, where they bring the artists in to break down their bars. So we're kind of doing the same thing, but more small time artists. Like why you got to be a just big time artist to get on Genius. So we kind of doing the same thing more so. But starting out with local artists, but eventually we're going to branch out further. And then another show we just got off the ground where we just interviewing artists, having to sit down. We got a project that's about to drop. Just come do a sit down interview and we'll break down. You can talk about to help promote your own product, get it out there.
So a couple questions. One being your background with electronics, right? So you're heavy into the production and making the production look right.
Yes.
Your background in electronics, did it help you in terms of being able to pick out the right equipment, lighting, things like that, or are they two separate things?
Both, a little of both. I mean, I just got a general knowledge in electronics, but just a lot of it you learn and just do research. It's just, I mean, my electronic skills make me understand the technical behind it. Like we can watch anything on TV, and you can just stop me and say, "T, how did they do that?" And I can explain it to you. Okay. I can break down what behind it and what behind any shot that they did, what it take to reproduce that. That's how I challenge myself. Whenever I watch something on TV, and I'm like, "How the hell did they do that?" And I'm gonna go figure it out. But for the most part, that is just doing the research.
This may sound like a dumb or crazy question, but when you're doing research about anything you're trying to learn involving the production, what's the first thing that you do in terms of research?
Google. I'm a Google genius. I could find anything. If it's on the internet, I could find it. Like that's my weirdest gift. I can find anything.
That was kind of a setup question because I was hoping you said that, and I asked it for a reason because a lot of times people come and ask me a question. I'm like, you didn't Google it before you asked me? Like,
yeah, I Google everything.
We literally walk around with computers in our hand, and somehow we seem to be dumber with smartphones. But so I want to point that out there also for our listeners. Like a lot of times, if you want to know information, go to Google, or my favorite place is YouTube University. Like, I feel like I got a PhD in everything based upon YouTube. Like I literally everything. I learned how to do everything from fix things to tie a bow tie. Like
exactly.
YouTube University, man. So I asked that for a reason. That was kind of a setup question. Not really.
I see you out here bootstrapping it, but has anybody reached out to you as far as mentorship or something like that to try to help advance you in what you're doing, or you just been out here just doing it from the hip?
And not yet, because the headquarters meeting we're about a year in right now, and like literally the last 6 months have really been exploding for us. So the first year it was just we've been networking a lot. So, but I haven't no one reached out to me for mentorship yet. But
before you decided to put this business together, were you someone that consumed a lot of similar content? Like were you a huge content guy?
Yes.
Okay, so because I watch some of your shows and it gives me like a feeling, and I don't know how far back you go, but a big star, and too raw for the street. So shout out to Big Star and Too Raw for the Street.
Too Raw for the Streets. He used to be. He was in my dorm. He was 2 doors down from me in my dorm when he was starting that dream.
Oh, okay. So you actually notable. I didn't even know that. I was just mentioning that.
Yeah, he went to Westchester.
Okay. I didn't even know that. But anyway, so that's what made me ask that. I'm like, okay, so you must have watched a lot of this content before you decide to get into what you're doing. So in terms of Headquarters Media, what is the future of your business? Where do you see your business going from here?
Like like right now, like I want to see it keep growing. I'm hoping, like I said, we're producing our own content and hopefully maybe Netflix or somebody will see something that we're doing and like it and wanna pick us up or give us a budget to do something even bigger than what we are. So I just want to showcase my talents and create, and hopefully something to catch one day and we'll get noticed.
Okay, so if we have someone out there who is a beginner who wants to start to create their own media company, and I know I've kind of within this podcast already given my opinion, low key, but what would be the first thing you would tell someone if they want to start, like to build a media company such as you've already built?
Well, it depends on what part they want, because the media company is just it's production behind it, or it could just be promoting behind it. You could just be management. It depends on what exact avenue you want to go to. Like if you're trying to go similar, we're doing a little bit of both. We provide our own production, so, and like I said, we have different shows. So part of it is also management, plan, booking guests, trying to find guests, trying to promote the show, pump the show. Being good at social media is also a big key. But it depends on exactly if you want to do exactly what we're trying to do. First, you like get good at production, like learn everything you need, figure out what camera equipment you want to go with, and just learn how to shoot and edit. Really, it's more so edit than anything.
Okay, so that was my next question. If someone had like a budget to, in terms of like they wanted to invest a little money for their media company, where do you think is the first place they should invest their money? Would it be editing software? Would it be in a better camera?
For editing software, if you got $200
and you got to choose between the camera and the editing software, which one would you choose?
Go with the software. If you know how to shoot and edit, you can take a Galaxy or an iPhone and make it look nice. If you know how to light, like buy good lighting, and sound is the most important thing. Sound is where a lot of people are feeling when you watch YouTube video. Like you hear better than you see. Like the video can look sharp, it can look beautiful, but if it sound like crap, it's gonna look like crap because it just sounds like crap. So the camera is actually one of the last things I would say invest your money in. Like know how to shoot, know how to light what you're shooting. If you can light it good, you can use a cheap ass camera. You can use a phone. Like I've done it. My first couple of years, I've shot using a cell phone, and it's all about lighting and sound. That starts there, and then your editing software. Like I personally, I use the Adobe Suite. It's like $50 a month. You got tons of software to learn. Like Adobe to me is one of the greatest software companies on the planet when it comes to like visual and audio and stuff. So graphics. Okay. So like to learn how to edit and then just learn how to light and sound. I will focus on those things first, and then you'll master a camera.
That's some game right there, right? Like, so, my advice, and I kind of said, I already said it earlier, which was like just to do something. Do something. Yeah. So that kind of works into what you said, though. Like, listen, everybody's walking around with either an iPhone or some sort of Android phone. Yep. And if you want to get started, like, pull your phone out and record. I mean, that's what a lot of people are doing anyway. They putting up thought pics, though. They're not trying to build a media company. So, like, but if you want to build a media company, a lot of us, we have a lot of tools already.
Yeah, exactly.
And people have an interest in everything. So whatever your interest is, you can do this for those out there listening. But that's a good tip, though. The camera is like almost the last thing that you invest money in.
Yeah.
For a novice, it sounds crazy, but it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. Because here's what's crazy. going back to, me being in real estate. So I hire photographers a lot of times when I take pictures of properties that I want to sell or rent. And it's to the point now, I even see photographers where these smartphone cameras are so good.
Yes.
Like, sometimes they look better than the DSLR. Like it's crazy, like how good the cameras are.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, man, so you talked about the future of your business. You said you just want to create content as a producer and to see where that gets you. So your focus is production, but you're kind of running the whole thing there. Like marketing, promotions. Do you think that you would ever bring someone else in to do that part for you while you just focus on production, or do you like doing everything?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna shout my partner. I got a partner, Dre. He helps me out. Like, I'm the tech behind it. He runs our social media pages. He basically do a lot of stuff that I ain't trying to be bothered with. We kind of compliment each other in a sense. So,
shout out to Dre.
Shout out to Dre.
So I don't know if I should be asking you this question or Dre, but my next question was this. In terms of marketing, there's a lot of platforms out there that people use. I just want to know where you guys see the most success. Some of our guests in the past, depending upon what business it is, they say Instagram.
You have to be on Instagram. That's one of the ones you have to be on.
Okay, a lot of people say Facebook.
I'm not a big fan of Instagram, but are we there because we know we have to be there? Okay,
so is that where you see your most like clicks from or success from, is in terms of marketing, or is it somewhere else?
Well, it's social media. You got to use all the platforms, honestly. Instagram and Twitter is different audience, so it all depends on what audience you're looking for. Like if you're looking for people our color, you definitely have to be on Instagram. Twitter is good. Snapchat, not too much. Mostly Twitter, Instagram, and Twitter are the top two.
Okay. Y'all don't do anything on Facebook?
Not really. We're thinking about going there, but Facebook is more so about laughing and jokes and memes and stuff. That's kind of where Facebook kind of went towards. And we're family and friends. Yeah, like that's where you go with your family and friends and you share funny stuff with. But as far as trying to promote, if you're trying to promote an audience or looking for a particular audience, then Twitter or Instagram is definitely the top two places.
Okay, now that leads me to one more question. Corey, I don't mean me bogarting the questions, but
no, you good.
He's giving answers that lead me to other questions, and we want to get out of here soon. Like I said, we don't try to make these too long, but this is something I'm learning myself. Basically, I'm sitting over here taking notes because you give me a lot of info. And the next question I have, I'm asking because I've seen people fall on opposite sides of this question, and that is as a content creator. And you go to market and you share something to your major platforms, which are Twitter and Instagram. Create content specifically for each platform, or do you share the same piece of content? So you want to have a snippet. Are you using the same snippet on both, or?
We're actually figuring that now. Right now, we were doing the same of both, just flooding all the whatever platform we're using with the same content, but like it's a different audience. Like Twitter is a totally different audience than Instagram. Because I was a Twitter head. I'm only on Instagram because of Headquarters Media, honestly.
Okay. I was about to say most people go to double tap on some buns, but you talking about business. All right, now my next question is, but here's my question though. How would you describe the difference in those two audiences for our listeners? How would you describe the difference between a Twitter audience?
Like Twitter is a little bit more, I would say, maybe an older, more serious crowd.
Okay.
It's definitely more professional based. Like if you follow, like I follow on Twitter, I follow a lot of journalists and like sports reporters or even politic reporters. Like Twitter is the place to go for news, for info.
Okay.
Instagram is a little of both. It was more of a hip hop thing to it, so it was more funny games, but information, like products. There's a lot of product placement there, advertisements. But Twitter is more so an information place. You just want raw info.
And that's interesting.
Hold on. You ever try LinkedIn?
I got LinkedIn. I got professional LinkedIn. We haven't opened up one for our media page yet, but that's also another place. LinkedIn is like the professional version of Facebook. It's Facebook for professionals.
And it's interesting to hear people's different perspective on these sites, right? Because what I'm recognizing now is, I guess it all depends upon who your friends or followers are.
Right.
Because for me, like Facebook is more grown up and more like, that's where my aunts and mother, they hang there. And, I go speak to them and say hi to them. Like So to me, Twitter is, like you said, it's news, but I guess I follow some wildness on there too.
Yeah, it's all of the above.
Yeah, it's a lot of wretchedness on my
Yeah.
timeline on Twitter too. I see some.
Yeah.
That's right.
It depends on who you following. Yeah.
Yeah. And then to me, Instagram does skew a little bit younger,
Exactly.
and a lot more, it's quote unquote hipper.
Yeah. It's millennials.
What I figured out, at least in my business, Facebook is where the people are that spend money. I know that.
Really?
Yeah, and I think that's because that's probably where the boomers hang at, and because because they've hogged all the resources, they got all the money. And shout out to all the boomers out there who listen to us. That's no shots, but y'all do hog the resources. But yeah, from my perspective, so it's just interesting to hear someone else's perspective of the different sites, because they all are different things. Like, they're different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you almost have to be on all of them.
And Snapchat is for like little kids and pervs. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't always that way, but that's how it's like. These things all start out somewhere and they all end up in some place, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like I can't go on LinkedIn unless I got a suit on, like, so.
Yeah, pretty much. pretty much. It's a little bit too professional. So.
Yeah, but T, man, listen, you've given us a lot of information, man. I learned a lot myself, man, and I want to wish you success with everything you're doing, in terms of production, in terms of the overall business, man. And how can people get in contact with you if they want to reach out?
Hold on, Jeff.
You got something else to ask them?
Yeah. Tell us about what books you read.
Yeah, I forgot the book question. As a matter of fact, that's a good. I'm glad you reminded me, Corey, because we always got to ask about a book. What book either inspired you or something that you read?
I'm the book of Google. I hate to say it. My thing is, I like flood information. If I'm researching something, I don't want to go just one source. I want to hear what I want to go as multiple sources as possible. So I'm not more so of a novel reader. I'll do my research. I'll read articles, or I'll read different people's opinions. A lot of times I learn a lot just by reading comments from if I read an article, I'm more interested in what other people got to say about it. I like my knowledge in volumes. I like different perspectives. I want to hear what different people thoughts behind it. And then I'll gather my own opinion based on the many different avenues that I chase down. So it's just.
Do you read a lot of articles or newspapers or things like that, or?
Yes, yeah. And that's the main reason why I'm a Twitter head for the most part, because Twitter takes me to a lot of different places where people tweet and they'll tag something and like, oh, okay, what's this? And I'll go look it up somewhere. So I definitely like reading the threads and see what other people vibe about. That's what more so why I like
most of your reading is in research.
Yes.
For business, so you're not hitting the
research, or when I'm learning something, I'll definitely I'm more of a hands-on. I kind of like to, if I'm trying to learn a new camera or new equipment, I need to go try to break it first, and then after I almost broke it, then I can go back and read and figure out what not to do.
All right, so let me flip the question this way then. What's a good Twitter handle for people to get good news or information? Because like the thing about Twitter is there's millions and millions of people out there putting out like fake news, real news.
I follow media personalities, like people like I'm an MSNBC head, so I follow almost everyone that works there. Also, and I'm a sports junkie, so I follow a lot of guys from ESPN or even like all of the beat writers. I'm a Philly fan, so I follow all the team beat writers. And then when they tweet, they put me on other people that's in the game that they follow. Okay. So I'm more. That's like I said. I like my information from a bunch of sources. So that's how I won't get fooled by fake news. Okay. So if I read something, I got to see it someplace else before I believe it. Okay. I got to see it from multiple places before I bite on it. So that's just how I do my research. When I want to find information out, I need to see it from more than one source.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's a unique answer too. No one's ever hit us with that, but I totally get that as someone who spent way too much time on Twitter in the past.
And then as a hands-on person, as somebody who went to trade school, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But only thing I would say is be careful of falling into an echo chamber following all the MSNBC, because
it's not just them. I follow. I try to keep it biased. Like I hate, I follow Republicans as well. I'm very liberal. But I don't want to just I don't want to fall down that.
Listen, because it'll upset you, but you got to follow both just
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
see what their perspectives are, and also to see what arguments they're using. Like, and also it's comedy too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You definitely get entertained.
it's
Yeah.
it's pure entertainment, man. But
Yeah.
anyway, man, yeah, thanks for reminding me about that, Core. But listen, T, man, thank you for coming on.
Oh, no problem.
Much success to you with Headquarters Media. And how can people reach Headquarters Media on Twitter or Instagram?
It's at Headquarters Media on Instagram. You can follow me at Theo Tarren on Instagram or Twitter, and also headquarters-media.com is our website.
Okay, and I'll put all those in the description box. Again, much success to you as you build out your company.
Thank you.
And thanks for all the knowledge that you dropped with our listeners today, man. Core, anything you want to say if we got there?
Yeah, man. One love, man. Thanks for coming out and showing us, you know what I mean, a different perspective, because just about everybody we talk to has went the college route or started the college route, and it's a unique perspective with something good for our listeners to hear.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Listen, and to our listeners out there, don't forget, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, shall I say, subscribe to the channel. If it's listen to podcasts, we want 5 stars. We want you to share this information because we're just trying to, spread some positivity in our community. But, just look out for us and share this content. And listen, look out for future episodes. But as we always say, it's not about how much money you make, it's how much you keep. Game elevates, and, peace. We love you.
Yeah, peace.
Peace.